Welcome to Earth Mysteries and Resonating with Nature. Now, I can't be the only person who loves being in nature, whether I'm walking in the mountains or down by the sea or just in my own backyard or garden. Nature helps me to relax, become calmer, more rooted, more connected. It also helps me to clear the way to be more vibrant, more creative. Depending on what I see and how I feel I want to be in nature. Sometimes I just want to lie on the grass and feel it, and other times I'm hiking. I'm sure it's the same for you. And I feel that all of us understand that whether we see a sunrise or a beautiful rainbow, there's something there that connects us all. I defy anybody not to get excited by seeing a rainbow. And it feels to me that when we're in nature, we're remembering not that we are separate, but that we are connected, that we are nature. And the very minerals and chemicals that make up the trees and the rocks also make up my body. And the water flowing is my bloodstream. And the nervous system is the system that allows us to connect. So everything in nature is connected. And it's through this connection that we resonate more deeply. And when we resonate more deeply, we remember who we are. So stay with me, because as I'm going to go deeper into what does it mean to be nature, at the end of this session, we'll have an exercise that I'll suggest you do in your own time so that you too can resonate more deeply using your psychic and your intuitive powers. Are you ready to go? Let's move then. So many years ago, I was doing a meditation. I was out of my body looking down on the earth, and I saw this vibrant blue color. And instead of what we usually see, where we see the oceans and maybe the continents, this was all I saw, and I realized that Mother Earth is not this sort of static energy, but is this vibrant consciousness, this vibrant being that I'm going to talk about as in terms of what we call Gaia. Now, when we look at Gaia, we need to understand that even though we always like to tell ourselves, oh, I'm the guardian of Mother Earth, we need to be better guardians of Mother Earth, actually, we're not her guardians, we're her children. And we need to be better guest children on Mother Earth. Because in truth, we are actually one of her dreams. Okay, so now here's the consciousness of Mother Earth called Gaia, and she is dreaming. And we, as individuals, and sometimes collectively, are living in one of her dreams. Just as you might go to sleep at night and have several dreams, each of those dreams may be very different. Sometimes you drop into the same dream, I know, but often we have different dreams, different places, different outcomes, different people we meet. But what I want you to understand that we're doing that now as we look out into the world and we say, aha, the world is like this. What we're really saying is one of Gaia's dreams is like this. How does that sound? So which of Earth's dreams do you wish to live in? And you might say, I didn't know I had choice. Well, we do. First, we need to stop saying the world is boom or this, because we're actually limiting the dream by saying this is how it is and this is how it's going to be. Then what we do have choice to do is to how we want to turn up in that world. So what I suggest is that you might have had that experience where you leave your home, go to the shops, and you're very happy and you feel happy, your body is happy, and everybody around you is happy. Have you noticed that? And then another day you leave your home and you're miserable or angry and your body feels angry and your shoulders are tight. Guess what? Everybody you meet is angry. So what we need to understand is how we turn up, how we embody the energy that we wish to express into the world will depend then on what world we see, what world we inhabit. Now, it would be lovely if we all inhabited the same world dream, but we don't. There are many people who have a very different view of the world than I do, and it doesn't make it right or wrong, but all I can do is to keep my ideas to myself in terms of I can choose how I turn up in the world. That makes sense? And how I turn up will literally shift the holographic world that I enter, which is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Gaia's dreams. So all of nature exists just as an expression of Gaia's dreams. In other words, there's not just one manifested world. That's really important because it shifts our thinking away from perhaps evidence that says that we're going to go in only one direction. It's not true. And just as we are part of the earth and her dreams, the earth is also part of the sun's dreams, and the sun is part of the galaxy's dreams, and the galaxy is part of, and you get my understanding. So we're dreams inside dreams inside dreams. And we can again choose how or what dream we wish to inhabit. Universal love, people call it. Cosmic love, God's love, creator love. I wish to live the dream that sees people in peace, connected, not judging each other. Maybe that's my dream. You may have a different one. But there is a universal energy and a universal dream that we can inhabit individually and collectively. And because of that, we're never alone. We're never separate. The idea, oh, I'm born alone, I'm going to die alone, it's impossible. First of all, I've never seen anybody born alone. And secondly, we're always connected to the dreamer. Another way of saying it, you're always connected to that gave birth to you, which is not just your mother, but the Great Mother, the creative energy out of which you emerged. And I'll stay with the idea of the dreamer. We are one. And that oneness is known as love. Love is the power of connection. So do I believe that everyone is loved? Absolutely, because everyone is connected. It's impossible not to be connected. So what does it mean to be of nature? We're energetic beings. Some of you are energy workers. Some of you have had energy work on you. We understand we exist with an aura within us and around us. Our DNA is energetic. Even our physical body is energetic. It's a little bit like taking a block of ice and putting heat on it. It becomes water, and then more heat becomes steam. So it's just a matter of how the atoms are moving. It's still energy. And as energy beings, we are able to move that energy through our consciousness. So I'm going to come to that. And because we're energy beings, we resonate. We resonate with each other. We resonate with those things that nurture us, those things that bring us peace, those things that excite us, those things that give us passion. These are the things that we really need to move towards. Am I enjoying this? Am I in joy? So resonating with those things that feed your soul are really important. Sometimes we meet things that also resonate with us that don't feed our soul, or we don't think they are. So sometimes not only do we have the joy, but we have the irritation. But that irritation is just as important, because when our energy body is vibrating because meeting someone, what we're really telling ourselves, I'm meeting a part of myself. So any energy that causes us to feel this vibration, this resonance, allows us to know that something in someone else is also within us, and it's time to awaken to that part of us. Okay? So our purpose on this earth is to create new consciousness. And I'm sure you've had this experience. You've been with someone, you've been talking away and both resonating at a very high frequency because you're excited by something. And you come away and you go, wow, I think we just created new consciousness through our exchange of energy or through our exchange of ideas. Have you had that experience? And we're acting like tuning forks. And so our purpose is that it's not about just people. It can be when I'm out in the mountains or around a tree, that when I resonate with that tree at the equal level, not seeing the tree as inferior, but saying the tree and I are resonating at the same frequency, then I know that we're creating new consciousness. It may not be in my mind what that means, but it's happening. Because remember, everything in that tree in terms of the minerals are also in me. So we may just be resonating at the level of the minerals, but hey, that's a start. Everything is alive and resonant. And as I say, we'll find ourselves moving towards things that really resonate with us and cause a change in our psychology, our physiology. And there'll be times where we move away from something because it doesn't feel as if it's resonating, it's not serving us. But there is nothing out there that doesn't have purpose, doesn't have a sense of something new is going to be created because of the relationship I'm having between myself and the butterfly, or myself and the tree. And I've seen that in my own garden, I'm sure you have. When I move out and I go to my pear tree and I say, wow, I'm resonating with the beauty of your pears and how they're growing. It's almost like I can feel that pear tree glowing with pride and smiling because someone's noticed it. So the more we connect, and I'm not being any way patronizing towards the pear tree, I'm just very envious that it has this ability to create this beautiful fruit. So when I celebrate somebody else's beauty, someone else's vibrancy, then we both benefit. Now we're also sentient beings. What does that mean? We feel each other, we feel the actions on another being. And sometimes we as humans call that empathy. It can also be compassion. But we know that with plants, if you separate plants, put them in a different space, and you cut one plant or the stem of one plant, it's noticed by electromagnetic means that the other plant will feel this, even though it's not connected through its roots. And I think that makes us all again connected. We feel the pain of the world. We feel when a tree is being cut down. We feel that something's happening, maybe where there's a volcano or an earthquake, because we're all connected. And that connection is really important, because if I know that my actions are going to hurt another person, maybe I won't do what I was going to do. Maybe if I know my thoughts are going to hurt another person, maybe I will think differently. And we're all conscious. And conscious is perhaps a combination of all the things I've been speaking about. Energy, sentience. But that consciousness is, where do I wish to focus my attention? And we can focus it anywhere. Wherever we focus our attention is where energy will move. So we can choose to focus our attention somewhere that is more in harmony with us. And there the energy will move. That's, again, a matter of choice. So let's practice resonating with nature. Let me talk a little bit first about what it means to be intuitive, what it means to have psychic senses. So to be psychic is the ability to pick up information. Intuition is what to do with that information now you've picked it up. And there are different levels of which maybe you have all of them, like I do. For instance, there's clairsentience. Clairsentience is to feel. Sometimes it's a feeling as in an emotion, or maybe it's a feeling in your body, or maybe it's a feeling in your hand. By which I'm saying is, when we're in tune with that clairsentience, our body might vibrate. We may get tingling in our hands, but we may also feel sad when other people are sad. Or we may feel joyful when other people are joyful. So clairsentience is probably a very strong emotion or sense in many people. Then there's clairaudience. Clairaudience is the ability to hear inwardly. Sometimes I just get a message. Sometimes if I'm quiet, I will receive a message, and if I receive that message, I will let you know that the more unusual the message is, the more likely it is real. So when I hear something, I think, well, how did I know that, or where did that come from? And then it's verified later on. I know, yes, I can trust that. Clairvoyance, the ability to see images. Sometimes that's how I pick up information. I'd literally physically see it. And again, if you've not ever been trained psychically, don't get caught up in having to do it right or seeing everything. You have to just kind of quieten your eyes. We often say have soft eyes, and we see things better. And then there's inner taste and inner smell. And some people taste and energy differently. We have a lot of that in our language. It doesn't taste good. I don't like the smell of this business arrangement. It's interesting how we use our senses to describe how we feel. And finally, there's inner knowing. And inner knowing is just like, I just know. I don't know how I know, but I know. And that is a very strong inner sense that I'd love you all to develop. So let's just look at how we're going to actually see this happening. First of all, what I suggest is you set aside 20 minutes every day for 5 days. There I'm giving you a structure, a prescription. And in doing that, you're literally telling the universe, I'm ready. I really want to hear what's going on, so that you're really helping the universe to oblige or to help you. And find a way before you start out in your 20 minutes to quieten your mind. I like to do that through breathing, a short breath in, a long out breath down through my body. But you may have your own technique. But what we need to do is to be in our body, out of our mind. Okay, so whatever means you get out of your mind, do that. Let this be something that's very rooted, especially because we're working with the earth. Make sure you are feeling your feet on the ground. Maybe you start walking first and then you quieten yourself, making sure your feet are there on the ground. And what I like to do is to become this curious, innocent child. Maybe that's just me, but there's that sense of, let's just be playful about this. We don't have to be too serious. And when we're not so serious, we're more likely to pick up information. The next things I suggest is you go in without expectations. Oh, that's a hard one. But no expectations of, well, I wonder if I'm going to hear anything. I wonder if I'm going to see anything. Or which tree should I talk to? No expectations. Sometimes it helps to just loosen the hands, just shake them off, so you get a sense of just shaking your hands. And I'd use your hand or your body like a tuning fork. My preference is to use my non-dominant hand to feel. It doesn't matter if you don't know which of those hands you would prefer to use, just let your intuition guide which hand. But my non-dominant hand is much better at picking up energy. My dominant hand is much more about giving energy. And then you get out into nature. You start by saying, I respect and honor and have compassion for all that I'm going to meet in this process. This is very important whenever we enter any sacred space. And just go out and walk slowly in nature. And you might tell yourself, I'm just going to do this for 20 minutes, because it's really good not to give yourself long periods of time and then start to wonder what's happening. And remember, no expectations. So you might get frustrated and you might say, oh, I'm not getting anything. And so your mind starts talking and then you wonder what you're getting. Now, what I can tell you is if I'm walking in nature, maybe I'm using my non-dominant hand, I'm just using that to scan the environment. If I'm in my own garden, for instance, I might scan the trees or the plants in my garden. But if you're just walking in nature, you might not choose to use your hand, you might just choose to use your body. And you might find that you actually walk past something and then are attracted to come back again. So trust yourself. If that happens, go, well, I think I'm just going to go back to that tree again. Then trust the experience, trust the sensations that you receive. If it is a tree, or you can ask if you may lean against it, hug it if you want. If it's a stone, you might say, can I sit on you? And be ready for their answer. They may say no. Please do not sit on me or lean against me. So ask permission always. Is it okay if I do this? Just as you would with someone you were meeting for the first time. You might not sit on them or hug them right away. So ask permission and then trust your senses. Sometimes, as I say, you might get an inner knowing. Sometimes you may get words. Sometimes you might get smells. Sometimes you may get visions. Sometimes you may get feelings. And let it be simple. Don't go for a long dialogue or a long vision. Simple first. And when your 20 minutes are up, give thanks. If you want to say, I'll be back, so you can let that particular energy know that you'll be around. And then always I end up with, keep a note of your findings. So that you keep a diary, you keep a journal, and you can, over the 5 days perhaps, just keep going back and saying, okay, I've now got a better sense that I'm more visual, or I'm more auditory, or I'm more tactile. And then you can build on that. So I hope that this has helped you to know more about who you are, who I am, that we are all nature. And the beauty of it is that we are here to resonate, just to connect. So until next time, enjoy being part of Earth Mistress. Bye-bye.